Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2, Micah.
Yeah.
Started off the game, 5 minutes in, conceded 2 goals. Let me know what you thought about the game, please. Thank you.
First 5 minutes, I didn't even know what to think. I think all of us in the studio were just like pretty gobsmacked about what we had just seen. But again, the same errors happen in the Tottenham game, Wolves game, is that we start off not well, and then we can concede silly goals that we shouldn't be conceding. And that's the story of Man United this season so far, conceding silly goals. We haven't had a team this season that have threatened us because they're good. It's really because we're bad, if that makes sense. But what we wanted was a reaction, and we got the reaction today. Bruno stepped up in terms of not dropping his levels where he's just completely rubbish. Antony had a better game, Rashford had a better game, and then we had a focal point 9. So I'm happy with the 3 points, and we're good.
I mean, after the 5 minutes, we conceded in the first 1 minute, 30 seconds around there, and then straight away we concede and we think, what's going on? Are we dreaming? Do you know what I mean? Again, talk about the mentality, because in the last game against Tottenham in the second half, we completely bail out on any sort of game plan we had, and then heads go. So in this game, of course, we talked about we had 85 minutes, over 100 minutes really after extra time to get back into it. So what do you think the players were thinking after the first 5 minutes? Because heads didn't go down. Again, it's early in the game. So what do you think the players were thinking in that
exactly.
moment?
I think that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for these players not to drop their heads after the first 5 minutes. But I feel like with these players, the mentality is the biggest issue that we have. We've got the quality. We can have more quality, don't get me wrong, but we have the quality. But in terms of these players, the mentality is one where if our heads drop, we're probably one of the worst teams in the league. And today it didn't happen. And I think the reason that happened is because in the first 2 games, we've already had that happen. And we've had, I'm sure Ten Hag has had those words with the players like, listen, don't let your heads drop if we have 1 setback, 2 setbacks, keep your head up. And ultimately, we saw a good reaction today. Bruno didn't drop his head. I think Wan-Bissaka as well, in the defensive line, our defence didn't drop their heads. I wouldn't necessarily say the 2 goals were on our defence. The set piece, our 2 set pieces is what they scored from. So I wouldn't say it was totally on our defence. But with that being said, they kept the level heads and we didn't drop a game from then. We kept the pressure on, we kept to our principles, and that's what Ten Hag wants. And ultimately, it seems that when you keep the principles, we win these games. So we just need to continue doing that.
A couple of players came into the team. Diogo at left back, and we had Eriksen back into the team in midfield. So what do you think those 2 players brought specifically into this team? I mean, we expected Sancho to start, didn't start, but he did come on later. What were the main differences you saw from Dalot and Eriksen coming into this game?
I think with Eriksen, he came in and it seemed kind of seamless, but I feel like that's because he has played in this midfield for a whole season prior. So it seemed like he didn't have anything to prove in a sense that Mason Mount may have had. And I think that's what people see in Mason Mount. Maybe he's trying a bit too hard. He's getting, leaving positions. But Eriksen, he came in seamlessly and did well. Dalot, I think Dalot has shown that he's versatile. In the first minute, he was already in midfield. You know what I mean? He's one of those technical players that we need in our team that does well. But I think both of them are very, very, very good squad players for us to have in our team. And I feel like when Mount comes back, it will be a question to say, do we continue with Eriksen or do we continue with Mount? But it's a good conversation to have. So I'm happy. I'm happy with both of their performances, and hopefully, they continue showing these performances and get the 3 points.
And a couple standout players today as well. I mean, Antony in our last game against Tottenham, you saw the social media, everyone was talking about how Antony needs to go and all that. Of course, look, earlier on in the season, it's early, but Antony, good game today, coming off a bad Tottenham loss. What did you think of Antony's performance?
I wouldn't say Antony a good game, I'd say a better game. Okay. That's why I say Antony a better game. I'm still skeptical about having him on our right-hand side. Sancho came on and played false 9, but I feel like his ability on the right-hand side will show what we're lacking. But, I mean, Antony can use his right foot. Who would have thought? He can use it, so I don't know why he doesn't use it more and hit the byline more. But better game from Antony. I think the jury's still out, so let's see what he can do. But better game from him, better game from Rashford, better game from our front 3. We're finally scoring goals. Our goal difference is 0, so I guess our season starts now against Arsenal next week.
And what do you think of Sancho's performance? I mean, we've been talking about him. Should be playing on the right, should be playing somewhere in the front 3. What do you think of him in the centre forward role?
I think I liked him in the centre forward role. I think it's easier for him to play there because maybe not as many touches, but he allows to open up space for other players such as Rashford, such as Antony. So good performance from him, but I want him playing a bit more. I think hopefully maybe against Arsenal he comes into the fold a bit more, but I'm happy for the team, happy with 3 points now.
Good comeback from Man United.